Welcome to another episode of Forgotten at the Podcast. Patrols Joseph. Thank you for tuning in as always. Today's October 23rd, Sunday. First Sunday we're back. Last Sunday we missed, obviously. I was out of town, so I could not get to my equipment. But you guys know that story, so I'll just go ahead and, you know, just talk about football today. And then also I'll do a Lakers rant towards the end. towards the end, and then we'll see where we land from there. But NFL, best sport to ever exist, gladiator of all the sports. I was watching UFC yesterday, and I was thinking while I was watching, I'm like, this is actually exhilarating. This is a great experience, and it reminded me of the first time I played football. And like UFC, I'm not a huge UFC fan, but I watch it when like the great fights are on. Like yesterday, Islam and Oliveira fought, so I was like, this is going to be a good fight. Two of the best, in the sport right now. So I watched the preliminaries and I watched um that fight in particular, and it was exhilarating to watch that fight. Like it was just like bang bang, and then the fight was over. And that was like how it was when I first played football. Like I remember the first time I played football, it was like I had like there was a like because I was playing defense and they put me on defense, and like first play out there, I like sacked the quarterback, and they're like, "Oh, you can't touch the quarterback," because it was practice. And like I threw him down to the ground and everything, right? And I'm like, oh shoot, dang it, I didn't know that. All right. So that's to say this, man, like the aggressive person in any fight, they tend to win most of the time more than the passive person. And same thing goes with life, right? When you're aggressive and stuff, when you're aggressive, you tend to be more successful in life because you're more risky in life, right? And yeah, I just thought about that, and I just wanted to share that on my podcast. I mean, really no correlation to football at all in terms of what I'm talking about today, but I just thought about that. I'm just like, that's something I want to bring up. But as you can see, I got my thinking cap on, so it's gonna be a long day. I got a lot of parlays out today, trying to come up big. And I'll go into those if you guys want to hear them, right? And then talk about my locks of the weeks. Talk about the Lakers today. Talk about a lot of stuff because I missed out on last week. So I just want to see if I miss out on anything. Talk about the trades and all that stuff. So I mean, I guess we can get it started with the Niners. Obviously, they just traded for Christian McCaffrey. And if you guys remember on my last podcast, I kind of hinted at it, and listen, I don't like. I'm not one of those people who like, oh, I know people in high places and all that stuff, right? That's not who I am as a person. That's not my role. Just because I don't want to like act like act like I'm that guy, right? Because obviously, I'm not that guy, And there was news that I heard about Chris McCaffrey potentially getting traded to the Niners. And I'm not gonna say where I heard it from, but I did hear that, and that was why I mentioned that on my podcast last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago. And I'm happy it happened. I was hearing that the Panthers wanted two first, but after shopping around, they realized this was the best offer. And speculating more, people were speculating that the Rams and the Niners were probably the last two teams to keep it bidding. And the Bills, I think Bills were out because the Bills, they build in their draft. They already have a quarterback they've already paid money for, so they don't have the capital to like overpay for players like Chris McCaffrey, like the Niners do, right? The Rams don't even have that capital either. With what they're doing, with what they're dealing with, they have to find ways to maneuver with the cap, and they have to find ways to kind of pay people from their own pockets, right? Because they are loaded heavily when it comes to finances. The Niners are the only teams where they have a flexibility around because they have a rookie quarterback who's on his second year, and he still has about three more years left on his rookie contract. So they have flexibility in that regard. Now, I do see, like I said on my podcast previously, that I do see that McCaffrey's contract will probably get restructured because I don't see the Panthers. I don't see the Niners paying him $12 million of his non-guaranteed money next year. they're gonna let him know like, hey, dude, we can give you 8.5, whatever the case may be. They'll restructure it to the point where he's getting paid what he should be getting paid. But I see a restructure coming up either before the season ends or during the off season. But I mean, just aside from business, man, Chris McCaffrey on this team is going to be tremendous. Like, and I didn't want to speculate anymore just because I'm like, well, what if it doesn't happen? I don't want to waste my time, waste my breath speaking about it. But now that it's here, we can speculate. And with Debo Samuels, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, Trent Williams, and then you got Jimmy G at quarterback. So this is a Super Bowl competing team. I I'm really excited to see how Trey Lance fares with Chris McCaffrey because if you look at you go back, Niner fans go back and look at Cam Newton and Chris McCaffrey. Like Chris McCaffrey had his best years with Cam Newton. No matter what you say or not, Cam Newton was a run threat at all times. So like you had to be attentive of both Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey. So now the same is going to go with Trey Lance. Now you have to be accountable for Trey Lance and Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. Oh, and they got this number 19 guy who can bulldoze you, and people are afraid. Defenders are afraid to tackle. Debo Samuel. Have you heard of him? Oh, they also have one of the best fullbacks in the league, Kyle Juszczyk. He's been a Pro Bowl multiple times. Oh, they also have George Kittle, one of the best blocking tight ends. Oh, they have Trent Williams, the best offensive lineman in the league. So, I mean, the schematics that Kyle Shanahan is going to come up with, I can see it right now. Like, I was texting my friend about it. I'm like, dude, can you imagine him doing a triple option with Trey Lance, Debo Samuels, and Chris McCaffrey, with Kyle Juszczyk being the lead blocker, as well as Trent Williams coming off of a pull or something like that? Like, the the possibilities are endless, and the amount of possibilities that they can configure with these personnel is ridiculous. This is going to be crazy. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be Super Bowl favorites from here on out. I just don't think that they're going to be able to gel in time, right? And especially with Jimmy G, I don't know the time he throws. You got to make those timely throws to win games, and I don't know if Jimmy G can make those down the stretch. All right, he made it to get them to the stretch, but to do the full stretch and overcome that stretch, I don't know if Jimmy G is that guy, and he hasn't proven it to be that guy, right? He hasn't proven that at all. But I mean, endless to say, I mean, this is not a move where the Niners are like, oh yeah, this is the move that's going to win us the Super Bowl this year. This is more of a move that hey, it's going to help Trey Lance. Like this is going to help Trey Lance. That's why they made this move. Like no one's talking about how this is going to help Trey Lance next year. Like forget about this year, all right? Niner fans, I already told you guys are not making the Super Bowl this year. You guys aren't. You just aren't. You got to be believable in that. I know you got the best defense in the league. I know you got one of the best personnel in the league, but your quarterback's not good enough to win you those games where you need to. So this is going to be a year where it's going to be about growth, building Christian McCaffrey confidence in that offense, and then getting Trey Lance comfortable enough to play, in that offense. And what this move does is that it takes pressure off of Trey Lance in the backfield to not always because the thing about and the great thing about the Niners offense and they having a dual threat quarterback and having a great running back is that defenses have to prep for both, right? They got to prep for Trey Lance and they got to prep for Chris McCaffrey having the ball in their hands at all times. So when you have that flexibility, right, it's going to be tough to top. It's tough to stop. And we've seen that with Cam Newton and Chris McCaffrey when they went 15. Sorry, not 15. But Chris McCaffrey when he had those All-Pro year seasons, 2 seasons in a row, he was the number 1 ranked fantasy football running back. It's because of Cam Newton effect on that offense. And when you have that effect, you are going to be able to be like good, right? And I just don't think that people understand that this move is not for this season, but it's for the future. And that's what that's what people got to unravel. This is not a move that is going to win them Super Bowl this year. It's just not. I mean, people are going to be like, oh, Niners weren't planning to win a Super Bowl this year. Like Kyle Shanahan said it himself. This was our plan 5 years ago. We just wanted to get a good defense and a great offensive line. That's what he said. He said that to Christian McCaffrey. It's stated. Go read the article or something. Sorry, podcast listeners. I just took a sip of coffee. But yeah, man, I just think that the Niners are still going to win the division. I've already picked them to win the division. Thank you very much. But I don't think that this is a move that's going to win the Super Bowl. I just don't. I just don't. And say what you want about Chris McCaffrey. He's probably one of the better running backs in the league, but his health is always a caution sign. So super good, right? And super fun. But I mean, let's be honest. This is a move that it's going to take some time. With that being said, let's go ahead and hit our locks of the week. All right, so um last week I didn't go. Week prior we went 2-1. Week prior to that we went 1-2. So we had a bounce back week, right? So we're doing pretty good, right? We're doing pretty good, right? Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep it going, and let's try to go 3-0. We haven't been 3-0 since week 2. So let's see what we can do, and let's see if we can get 3-0. So today's is going to be a different game. All right, we're gonna do so here's my plan for today in terms of what I'm touching. I like a lot of first quarters. So one of the first quarters I like is the Lions Cowboys over 9.5 points first quarter. I think 2 touchdowns get scored by one team or both teams. Defensive touchdown might get scored. But I do believe that the over 9.5 points in the first quarter for the Lions and the Cowboys game is a lock, right? You got to be creative when you get down in these week stretches. You got to look at every down. You got to break it down, break it down, break it down, because one simple mistake can lead you the wrong way, right? And a lot of money's coming in on the Cowboys, but a lot of money's coming in on the late lines. Late money coming on the lines, and that's when you got to be careful. All right, who are those late movers? Why is the line shifting? It was just 6.5. Why is it 7.5? Sorry, why is it 7? So I'm just gonna take the easy number, 9.5 first quarter. It's 2 scores, a touchdown, field goal, and an extra point being made. That's all we need. All right. And I think that has the possibility of doing it. So that's my first lock of the week. Second lock of the week is the Buccaneers -3 first quarter. All right. Buccaneers -3 first quarter. Right. I do think that the Panthers start off slow here. I think the Buccaneers get up 7-0 at least. I think the Buccaneers score a touchdown on their first drive. I think Brady's ready off the off of a tough loss, right? To the Steelers. He's going to be ready to play. All right. So Brady and the Buccaneers will cover the first quarter -3 points. All right. The second game, the Chiefs and the Niners. This is a game where usually I stay away from, just because of the game it's weird. It's rocky. It started off 1.5, 2.5. Now it's down to 1 since the Chris McCaffrey trade. What's Chris McCaffrey going to be doing? What's the line going to be doing? What's the pass rush going to be looking like? Joey Bosa's playing. All these players are playing on the Niners. It's a revenge game for the Niners against the Super Bowl at home. So many things going against the Kansas City Chiefs. But you know what is not going against the Chiefs? Them losing 2 in a row. They just lost to the Bills. They are not losing 2 games in a row. I refuse to believe it. And if you had a gun to my head right now and you told me that the Niners will win today, you got to shoot me because I don't believe it, right? There's no way in heck the Chiefs lose 2 games in a row. And there's no way in heck Mahomes loses to Jimmy G. Just no way at all. Andy Reid, give this man time, give this man room, give this man, after a loss, he's revengeful. He's vengeful. He's ready to go, right? I know it's on the road, but they're in California. Beautiful weather, beautiful people, and they're just ready to get this win. So I think a lot of fumbling goes on today with the Niners in terms of just their game plan, just because they're trying to fit Chris McCaffrey in as well as staying on the game plan they already have course. I just don't think that Chiefs are going to lose to the Niners with Mahomes at quarterback. All right, so those are my locks of the week. We got the first quarter Buccaneers first quarter -3. We got the over Lions and Cowboys 9.5 first quarter, and we got the full game Chiefs -19 or 119. Money line. So those are my 3 hot picks. Those are my 3 locks of the weeks. 3 locks of the weeks for Sunday. You heard it here first. And let me know what you think about that. I think it's a great slate. I thought it out. Excuse me. I thought it out. Didn't really think about it too much, but I thought it out over the morning. I mean, last night, saw some numbers. I thought about it again this morning. I was like, I love these. I love these numbers, right? And it's all about finding the great spot, all right? The only thing about the first quarter bets is that it could happen. You could be down. They could score a touchdown, and then the team's driving, and then the quarter runs out. That's the worst. And then they score a touchdown, second play, and into the second quarter. So that's the only risky thing. I guess not the only, but one of the risky things. But that's all we do. It's such a fun, right? We're not looking to become millionaires off of this. We're just looking to have fun, looking to get it going, right? And that gets me to the next point. Who are millionaires? The Los Angeles Lakers. Los Angeles Lakers, people. You guys know me. If you guys been listening to me, if you guys know me for anytime, the one thing that's consistent with me is Laker talk. We talk Lakers. All right. That's all I think about. I live, breathe, and die Lakers. All right. These first two games against the Clippers, against the Warriors, have been horrible to watch. And I've been trying to find a silver lining. I just have, because I'm a believer in the Lakers organization. But I just can't find a silver lining. I just can't. And it's time after time after time where they get you in a good mood. They bring a star. They're like, oh, we're ready to win. We're ready to win the ring, right? And then everything just crumbles, And that's what's happening now, man. We got Patrick Beverley coaching up guys. I love Patrick Beverley to death. I love the intensity he's bringing, but the leadership that he's coaching guys, like LeBron doesn't do that. LeBron doesn't do that type of leadership anymore. At least I haven't seen it. Like, he doesn't coach people on the court like he used to. And I know there's clips of him talking to Austin Reeves and all that stuff, whatever the case may be, but he doesn't coach people like he used to. And you can see it. Like, I don't see LeBron James in film because I mean, anybody could see. I've been playing with AD for the past 2 seasons, and he's shooting 38% outside the paint. I'm going to tell him, stop shooting the ball in the paint. Just stop it, because it's not you. So, like, at some point, we got to have some type of accountability from the players. And excuse me, my email just went off. But has to be some type of accountability from the players at all times. And we aren't seeing that. And when your best players are careless, when your best players are, Anthony Davis, who, he's been playing really, strong. He's been trying to battle through injuries, but you got to play like a man, dude. Stop playing like and this is not a knock on females, but he is playing like he's playing in the WNBA. And I love the WNBA. I love Caitlin Clark, who's about to be a superstar in the WNBA. I love Kelsey Plum. I love Adrian Wilson. I love Griner. I love Deanna Taurasi. I love Sue Bird. I love Breonna Stewart. I can go on about WNBA and who plays for which teams and all that stuff. I'm a full supporter of the WNBA, but Anthony Davis needs to understand that there's a level of physicality that's in the WNBA, and he's not playing at that level of physicality. I've seen more physicality from Ella Dawn than I've seen from Anthony Davis. I just have, and it's just like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, get in the paint, bump bodies, bang bang, pause, and go get the rebound. Like, you should not be averaging 6 rebounds over these past 2 games, over the first 2 games. Patrick Beverley should not be leading the teams in blocks. Patrick Beverley is leading the team in blocks. Like, there should be no reason that's happening right now. No reason at all. Like, Anthony Davis, you're 7 feet tall. You're not 6'2". You're not 6'3". You're not 6'4". I don't mind you shooting 3-pointers, but they have to be timely. They have to be after you attack the paint. Like, watch Giannis play. Giannis does not give a dang about anybody in front of him. He goes into the paint every single play, and then after he gets comfortable, he starts shooting the ball. Like, that's what you got to do. You got to go inside out. That's just the name of the game. And when we're shooting, 19 to 84 from threes, there should be no reason why 3-pointers are our first instinct. Like, Darvin Ham needs to get in line. He needs to be like, hey guys, we gotta start. All right, let's before we attempt any 3-pointers, we gotta make 10 2-pointers. All right. Like, that has to be the mentality you have to have with your team, because you got to start treating them like grade schools, because what you're creating is a culture that you are allowing to happen. 19 of 84. We should not be shooting 43s a game when we are shooting below, what is that? 20%? Is that even 20%? Let's do some math real quick. Doing some math on the calculator. Let's do. I don't even like that. Is that even 20%? 23. Okay, it's 22.6%. I'm gonna say 23%. I'm gonna just give him an extra bump. It's horrible. That's horrible. No reason why we should be shooting 40 plus threes a game when we are shooting below 25% from the 3-point range. It's obvious we're not a shooting team. LeBron said it first. We are not a shooting team. So why are we shooting 3-pointers? Start inside, go out. And then over the season, over the course of the season, I'm sure we can bump that number up to 35%, 33% from three. But we are not a 3-point shooting team. We just aren't. We got to stop acting like we are. There will be games where we get like 18, 17, 16 threes early on, right? That does not make it we're a 3-point team. We are a team that got lucky shooting threes. But we should be shooting maybe 25, maybe 30 threes a game. Maybe. I'm saying maybe. But Darvin Ham needs to say, hey, guys, before we shoot at least one three, before we shoot any 3-pointers, we gotta make 10 2-pointers. So before we do anything, we gotta get 20 points. We just got to. Because I mean, you have to have some type of structure in place in times of your organization. Like there's no structure in place right now. I like when I turn on the Lakers, I see a good defensive team, right? I see great players defensively, and that's all I see. But Russell Westbrook does not need to be shooting threes. I have been I'm not hating on Westbrook this season. I told you guys already. I'm not. You will not hear a hate word come out of me from about Russell Westbrook because thinking about Russell Westbrook is like he is gonna give me his 100% every single game. Whether he goes 0 for 20, 0 for 11, 0 for 15, 15 for 15, it's gonna show either or, good or bad. It's gonna show. So we know that already. So I'm done complaining about Westbrook because I know what I'm getting from him. Patrick Beverley, I know what I'm getting from him. I'm getting him 120%. Maybe he'll make some threes, maybe he won't, but he's gonna play 120%. Anthony Davis, I don't know what I'm getting from you. LeBron James, I don't know what I'm getting from you. And when you're two top dogs, you don't know where you're getting from. And in terms of effort, you got a problem. And I think that's where Westbrook kind of hates the media is because like you look at Westbrook, he's playing 100%. You can't tell me that he's not playing 100%. Like you look on the film, you turn on the film from Westbrook to LeBron James. Like Westbrook is playing harder than LeBron James is. He just is. He misses a shot. Westbrook's sprinting back on defense. LeBron misses a shot. He has his head down and he just starts jogging back on defense. Like you cannot tell me the effort level from Westbrook is not there. And Westbrook gets upset, I think, because you're having to deal with a player who is one of the greatest players of all time and you're competing harder than him. I imagine competing harder than somebody who they say is better than you. Right? You know? That's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say. But this team right now, they're looking like a 35, 40 win team. I said before the season, you guys heard me. I said we would win 50 games. I don't know if we'll win 40. I really don't. And it's a shame because the Pelicans have our first round pick, so we can't even draft anybody. But like always, subscribe, like, tune in, comment if you agree, comment if you disagree, and let me know what you think. All right, but locks of the weeks. We got the first quarter, 9.5 over Lions game. We got the Buccaneers -3 first quarter, and we have the Chiefs full game. All right. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your Sundays, and let's get it.